So now the second physical non-virtuous deeds, it is stealing. So stealing is to take the possessions of another for one's own through force or gentle methods, like snatching the other's possession without having their permission, or gentle methods means without knowing by others if we take others' belonging. So whether it's whether it be a small or large item, one steals, then it's a negative action. Actually, any kind of stealing is a non-virtuous, but to damage or to destroy the vow, you need the complete action of stealing, just as the killing. You need the complete act of stealing. And also to destroy the vow, not only one is the complete act of stealing, but also need to steal like a price of moderate food for one meal. If one exceed that amount of wealth or money, then that can damage, no, that can destroy the vow. If one has done a complete act of stealing, which is not worth more than one moderate meal, then although it damaged the vow, but it won't destroy the vow. So the amount of moderate meal, a single one moderate meal means wherever one stays, that town or that country's moderate meal. So when we are in Nepal, so the amount is a moderate meal of the amount of moderate meal of this country, not from other country. So that depends on the country. The amount of the moderate meal depends on country, depends on town or city. Actually, I personally think we say that Vinaya needs to depend on time and place. So it means this kind of thing. In some place, a particular like food is expensive, but then this same food in another place is not so expensive. So that kind of thing depends on place. And also, the Vinaya depends on time, means, for example, if one is not taking meal after lunch or after afternoon, so then that depends on the afternoon time of that particular country. It cannot depend on one country all the time wherever we go in this world. We cannot depend on one country, or we cannot depend on Indian time all the time. So that's why I think it says Vinaya depends on place and time. And it doesn't mean one can make new rules, one can change the rules that are set up by the Buddha himself. So depend on time and place means like this. Not it does not mean we can change the rules that are set up by the Buddha. And then third one is sexual misconduct. So sexual misconduct is intercourse with a woman who is not one's own wife, or with one who, as I'm just reading the commentary text in English. It says sexual misconduct is intercourse with a woman who is not one's own wife, with with one who, though not claimed by a husband, is a relative up to the seventh generation, at an improper time, at the time of pregnancy or the time of fasting, in an improper place like a temple, in the presence of parents and the like, and by an improper passage such as anal or oral. So therefore, like improper person and improper place, improper time, and improper passage. So if one has done these, then it's a sexual misconduct. Actually, even that is one's own wife. If we do in an improper passage or improper place, then it's considered as a sexual misconduct. And now the fourth one is verbal negative actions. So first three are the physical negative actions. Now the four following ones are verbal negative actions. So first verbal negative action is lying. Lying is to speak untrue words with the intention of deceiving others. With the intention to deceive others' mind, if we tell something that is not true, or in order to deceive others, if we intentionally tells that person something that is not true, then it's lying. Sometimes without knowing one is telling untrue words, if one tells such thing, then although one is telling not true, one is telling false, but one does not have the intention to tell false. So that kind of words are not considered as a real lying, because at that time, although the words are lying, but you don't have the intention to deceive others' mind. So that kind of lying is not a complete lying. And also, one can say telling false, telling not true is not always a negative action. As I used to say, if a hunter asks a person where the deer, in which direction these deers went, and if that person tells the truth, then this hunter can take the lives of all these deers, or that hunter can kill all these deers. So by telling the truth, it can cause the life of all these innocent deers, or it can cause this hunter to commit serious non-virtuous deeds of killing. So therefore, in such case, if one does not tell the truth, still one has not committed the negative action of lying, because one is doing this with the right motivation, with the right intention, with the intention to rescue others' life, or with the intention to save their lives, or with the intention to save this hunter from doing serious negative actions which are the cause of great suffering in the future. And then second verbal negative action is divisive speech. In the commentary text, it says calumny, or actually it's like a divisive speech, a speech that divides two persons, or speech that divides two groups, or to society, or to monastery, or to city, or to country, etc. That kind of speech, whether it's true or false, any irrespective of irrespective whether the speech is true or false, if that speech can divide two person or groups, etc., then that is known as the divisive speech. So, it means sometimes by telling the truth, one can commit negative actions. Sometimes by telling the truth, it can divide the two groups, or two society, or etc. And that kind of truth, that kind of true speech, is a part of divisive speech, which is second second verbal negative actions. So we should not think telling the truth is always virtuous. It is not like this. There are exceptions, like in this case. So anyway, telling something that can divide, telling something to divide a two person or two groups, with such intention, if you use divisive speech, with the intention to divide, if you use divisive speech, then that is the complete action of divisive speech. If that has all the parts, like preparation and main and conclusion, which means to rejoice, etc. So I think in all the actions, if one feels good, or if one will rejoice, then that is the conclusion part for all these non-virtues. And then, or you don't feel regret. And then third negative verbal speech is harsh speech or hurtful speech. A speech that can really hurt others' mind. So for this, not necessary to use harsh words. Even you use pleasant words, but still, if that kind of word, or if that kind of speech can really hurt others' mind, then that is also considered as a hurtful speech, or the third verbal negative actions. Actually, there's a saying. It says, although the words or the speech are not sharp, but such speech can cut the other's heart, hurt, heart, other's heart. So hurtful speech can cut the other's heart. So anyway, using a speech that can really hurt others' mind, It's like cutting the other's heart. Uh, just by hearing such speech, if one feels very sad or very unhappy, or by hearing such speech, if that can generate anger in others' mind, etc. So all these speech are known as heartful speech. And then the fourth verbal negative action is ideal speech. Ideal speech is the speech of listening to and contemplating wrong scriptures, and the defiled speech of flattery, songs, dramas, and tales of dynasties, armies, harlots, and the like. So, any speech which is not related with the Dharma or are considered as a idle speech or considered as not a meaningful speech. So all these speech which are not meaningful are considered as a ideal speech. The more you hear or the more you talk about, the more you use the idle speech, the more negative thoughts will arise in your own mind and also in the other's mind. So idle speech is the cause of negative thoughts. It's the cause of negative actions. And it's a cause of suffering. Because idle speech can cause negative emotions or mental afflictions, and that can cause you to do negative actions, and that can cause you to experience the suffering. So all are dependent like this. And then, so these are the four verbal negative actions, and now the three mental negative actions. First one is coveting. Coveting is the desire to make others' property one's own. So when we see something good that belongs to others, then we really wish to have it, that particular object. And I think that kind of thought is called the covetousness. And then second is malice. Malice is a wish to harm others, or it's like the ill will thought or harmful thought. Wish to harm others. It's called malice. Then wrong views. Third one is wrong view. Wrong views consist of believing that the precious gem and the doctrine of karma and the like are not true. So not believing in triple gem, not believing in the law of karma, not believing in that rebirth, and not believing in the true truths or four noble truths, etc., are considered as a wrong view. And also believing in a self as a believing in self as a truly existent, or believing in phenomena as a truly existent, are all considered as a wrong views. So there are many different kinds of wrong views. So these are the 10 non-virtues. Now, the second subdivision is the result of non-virtuous deeds. So now we need to reflect on the result of these non-virtuous deeds. Actually, there are three kinds of result, which are known as the rapid result, second, the result similar to its cause, and third, the result of ownership. So first is the result which is known as the rapid result. Generally speaking, for example, if you plant a seed in the fertile ground, then when time comes, when time ripens, then one can have the crops, which is the result of planting the seed in the fertile ground. So similarly, doing the action through our own body, speech, and mind is it's like planting the seed. Then just like having the crops after some time, then similarly after some time one will get the result of our own actions. So this result also has three different kinds, as I've said. So now first we are explaining about first I'm explaining first in the teaching it explains about the rapid result. So the rapid result of non-virtuous seeds is to fall down in the lower realms. And that also depends on the uh, on the that also depends on different kinds of negative thoughts that motivate ones to do these negative actions. So if one does the negative actions out of anger, then as a rapid result of this, one will fall down in the hell realm. And if one has done the negative actions out of attachment, then as a result of then as a the rapid result of this, one will fall down in the hungry ghost realm. And if one has done the negative actions out of ignorance, then as a rapid result of this, one will fall down in the animal realms. So whether one will fall down in which lower realms depends on your negative thoughts that motivates you to do these actions. So out of these mental afflictions, the one that is motivated by the anger is the most serious negative actions. As it is said in the Bodhisattva Chavatara, the virtues which we accumulate through practicing generosity in others for thousands of eons can be destroyed by one anger, etc. So it clearly shows that how serious it is to generate anger. Then from the nature point of view, if one commits great non-virtues, then one will fall down in the hell realm. If one commits mediocre non-virtue, then it will be the result. The result of this will fall down in the hungry ghost realm. And if one commits small non-virtues, then as a result, one will fall down in the animal realm. And then the second type of result is known as the result similar to its cause. The result similar to its cause also has two. Experience similar to its cause and action similar to its cause. First, experience similar to its cause means by killing others, as a result, similar, then the experience similar to its cause, the result of experience similar to its cause is to have uh, one will have short life. As a result of this, one will have short life, and one will have more sickness. And as a result of stealing, one will not become rich in the next life. And as a result of sexual misconduct, one will have many enemies. And as a result of telling lie or telling negative lie, then one will receive many criticism from others, or one can be deceived by others all the time. And as a result of divisive speech, one cannot be one cannot make friends with others, or one will have difficulties in making friends with others, making good friends with others, or one will not have many friends. Even one has friends, these friends will not remain with you for a long period of time. And as a result of hurtful speech, one will always hear unpleasant speech from others. And whatever you speak, that can be the base, or that can cause debate, or that can cause quarrel or argument. Then, as a result of, I think, idle speech, no matter whatever you speak, others will not believe. Even you speak, you speak the truth, still others will not believe. And as a result of covetousness, whatever one expects to have, one will not get. Even one gets, one will not have contentment. And as a result of maliciousness, one will always be in fear. And as a result of one will always feel fear of receiving harmful action from others. So one remains in the fear. And as a result of wrong view, one will still have wrong view, and one will not have great wisdom, or one will have a false wisdom, a wisdom that is used on wrong subject or wrong views. So these are the results. These are the experience similar to its cause. Now the second, action similar to its cause, means as a result of killing others in the past lives, in this life also one feel happy to kill others. And as a result of stealing in past life, one feels happy, or one likes to steal in this life also. So these are the result action similar to its cause. And now the third result is called the result of ownership. The result of ownership is said to be ripened as the outer aspects of the world in which one is born and dwells. So result of ownership rippens on the place where one stays. So as a result of killing, one will be in a place of little splendor. As a result of stealing, one will be in a place where there are hailstorms and frost. And as a result of sexual misconduct, one will be born in a place where there are lots of dust storms. And as a result of lying, one will be born in a dirty and bad odors, in a place where there are lots of dirty and bad odors. As a result of calumny, one will be born in a place where there are uneven land. I think many of these places are referring to the farmland, I think. It can mean other, but I think mainly to the farmland. And as a result of harsh speech, one will be born in a place where there are arid lands. Actually, I don't know these words. And as a result of idle speech, one will be born the, in a place where there's no change of season, or result in preventing the change of seasons. And as a result of coveting, one will have small results. I think these are referring to the farm. And as a result of malice, one will have a result fruit which are bitter flavors. And as a result of wrong view, one will have result in not even having a little fruit. So this refers to the farmlands. So now the third main division of this non-virtue is discarding the non-virtuous deeds. So after knowing the sufferings of three lower realms as a result of committing non-virtuous deeds, even one is born in the higher realms as a result of committing a negative action, as a result similar to its cause, like experience similar to cause. One will have short life, or one will become poor, etc. So one will have unfavorable conditions. So now, whatever situation that one may face, or even it cost one's own life, one should not do any negative action. So one should have very strong promise or strong resolution not to commit these negative actions, which are the cause of suffering, especially the cause of suffering of the lower realms. So no matter from which country we belong to, or no matter from which culture or which religion that we belong to, we will not wish to have a short life. And we will not have the wish to have more and more sickness. We will not have the wish to experience more and more suffering. So we all have the same wish to overcome all these problems or sufferings. But most of us don't know the cause of this result. So because of this, even though we wish to overcome the suffering, but still we engage in doing more and more negative action, which can only produce more and more sufferings, more and more unfavorable conditions for oneself. So therefore, if one really wish to overcome the suffering, then one really wish to remove the cause of suffering, which is to abandon the negative actions at all costs. So we must abandon the negative actions. If we still commit negative actions, then right away we need to feel regret and we need to confess and we need to purify these negative actions. And then also, in order to have the right remedy to these negative actions, we need to commit or we need to perform virtuous deeds. We need to perform powerful virtuous deeds so that we can purify these non-virtues. We can purify these negative actions. Actually, negative action has no quality, but only quality that has is if we purify, then there's nothing that cannot be purified. One can purify all these negative actions. So that is the quality of negative actions. They can be purified if we have the right remedy. If we have the right remedy, even the most serious negative actions can be purified. There are many stories regarding regarding this, like uh, the stories of the story of Nanda, Buddha's relative, Buddha Shakyamuni's relative, called Nanda, or the younger step brother of the Buddha Shakyamuni, was overcome by the desire for women, which means, for the eyes of common people, Buddha Shakyamuni's younger step brother, Nanda, has very strong attachment. Even though he became celibate monk, but still he has strong attachment to his own wife and cannot separate from the wife, etc. But Buddha Shakyamuni has a skillful means to guide. So then he brought Nanda to the God's realm, and then he also brought him to the hell realm. And by bringing him to these places, up and down, or God's realm and hell realm, then it makes it how to say it. It has a great impact on his mind, on the Nanda's mind. So due to this, he was able to denounce the attachment, or he's able to remove the attachment, and then gain the arhatship, the state of arhatship. Then also, as in the commentary text, it says an Anguli Mala slew means slew many people, but both attained arahathood. So so both Nanda and Angulimala attained arahathood, or the state of arahatship. Angulimala Angulimala means like garland of fingers. Actually, actual meaning of Angulimala, Anguli means, I think, fingers, Mala means garland. So garland of finger, which means actually Angulimala is before he was a good person, but then he met a bad master, and the bad master gave wrong advice or bad advice by saying, if you can kill many people, then you will become a good. So when Angulimala, before he was not called Angulimala, but when he was young, when he received such advice, then he believed in such advice, and then he followed the advice by killing many people. So he killed hundred no 999 people, and he collect all the fingers of all these victims, and he made one mala or one rosary or garland. Actually, his wish is to kill 1,000 people. Now he still need to kill one more person. So if you kill one more person, then he has killed 100. Oh no no, 1,000 person, and he wears the garland of finger on his neck. And after killing 999 person, then he met Buddha Shakyamuni. And then Buddha taught him by saying, by committing non-virtues, you will have severe consequence, or you will have a serious result. So he gave this kind of teaching and others. And due to these teachings, Angulimala generated very strong regret on his own negative actions of killings. Because of this strong regret and studying and practicing the teaching, he was able to purify the action of killing 999 person. And without going through the lower realms, he entered into on the Buddha's path and attained the state of arhatship. Then also there's a story of in the commentary text. It says Ajat Shatur slew his righteous father. So it means Ajata Shatur, a king called Ajata Shatur, he killed his own father, father who was also a king. Actually, his father, king, was a Dharma king. So the king Ajata Shatur killed his own Dharma king, his own father, Dharma king. Actually, before he was born, the astrologers and the Brahmins, they foresee that this son that will born in the future will become your own enemy, the father's own enemy. So as it is kind of prophesied by these astrologers and the Brahmas, this son became the enemy of the father. So Ajata Shatru, I think in Tibet, actually in Tibet it's called Makeda. Make means unborn. So Makeda means like unborn enemy, before born enemy. So before he was born, they have already prophesied that this will be your enemy. This will be the father's enemy. So therefore, he was named as a Makeda, before born enemy. So Ajata Shatru also means the same thing, I think. So he put his own father into the prison. And do many bad things. And then finally he killed his own father. But then later, he feels very strong regret. And then he went to see Buddha Shakyamuni. So at that time, Buddha Shakyamuni was there. Buddha Shakyamuni is still alive. So he went to see Buddha Shakyamuni and he received teachings from Buddha. Although he has done heinous crime of killing his own father. But due to the power of Buddha's teaching, he was able to free from the suffering of lower realms. And then there's another one called, so Udayana, it says Udayana killed his own mother, but they were quickly liberated from the result of the sins by relying upon the Tathagata's teaching. So Udayana, when he was doing sexual misconduct, at that time, the mother advised him not to do such action. But then, as a result of this, he showed great anger to his own mother, and then he killed his own mother. He killed his own mother for giving a right advice or giving a good advice. But then later on, he feels great regret, and he enters into the Buddha's path, and then later he has seen the truth, and then he was able to free from the result of such heinous crime in very short time. So these are the stories that even a person who has done very serious negative actions can be free from their results if they have the right remedy, or if they have the right path to practice. Actually, in order to do the right confession, you need the 4 powers. First, the power of a shrine, which means the object to whom one is going to confess. So here, the power of shrine refers to Guru and Triple Gem. Then the power of regret, which means one should feel very strong regret towards one's own past negative actions. In the past, one has done these actions without knowing the consequence, without recognizing it as a negative actions. But now, from this time onwards, one should have strong promise or strong resolution not to commit this mistake again. So such strong resolution is called this 3rd power, which is known as the power of antidote. And the 4th power is called the power of revival. No matter how serious negative actions are, one should have strong belief in purifying all these negative actions through the right method. So all through the first 3 powers, if one strongly believes that one has purified all one's negative actions, then such belief or such conviction is known as the power of revival. So with full 4 powers, one can confess. One can confess any non-virtues through these 4 powers. So up to here is this starting part of today's teaching. So today's main topic is non-virtues. Non-virtues and its result, and wish to discard doing non-virtues. And now the next one is the practice part. Actually, I think for me, it's not necessary to go through detail in the practice part, because in the afternoon, Khenpo Jodhenla is going through the practice session. So, but just in short, for the practice session, the preparation part is to do the refuge and supplication prayers, and then the main part is to reflect on today's meaning, like the different non-virtues, first the general law of karma, and then the different non-virtues, and then the different result of these non-virtues, and wish to discard these non-virtues through right Dharma practice. And to happen this, we really and sincerely pray to Guru and Triple Gem. So with this, we conclude today's morning teaching. Now at the end, as always, we should do the dedication prayers.